you find yourself in there. That is really aggressive for a centre-back to be that high in that position there. So again, would that be like, okay, this is what the manager wants? Would he be happy with that? Because one of the, not frustrations, definitely not a frustration, one of the criticisms probably I've had watching United in that system at times, where they are a flat five and they can't get out to get pressure on the ball, and the two midfielders almost left there just having to cover a huge amount of space.
I think when it's really high on the pitch, I don't think it matters what formation you're playing at the end. You almost go man for man anyway.
Yeah.
So I think in the five, in that situation, I'm just seeing the guys in front, I'm going to go in tight with them. Whether or not you're in a 4 or 5, I don't think it matters. But like you said there, when you get pinned back in a 5, that probably happens a little bit more deeper on the pitch, maybe mid-block, and certainly towards the edge of your own box.
Obviously you're with him for the start, and then through the rest of his sort of first half season in charge, if you like. We talk a lot about the system. Jamie talks a lot about the system, as does everybody. Yeah. Does he coach that system and the way that it operates a lot?
Yeah, I mean he's quite structured in his training sessions in terms of the way he wants you to play, and most of the time a lot of the sessions will be done in the shape. You know, I think he's quite clever in the fact that he won't just put a session on just for the sake of it. A lot of it will be done in terms around structure, build up, how you want to defend, and he'll use those sessions. Obviously, last season I was injured for quite a lot towards the end, but there was also a lot of games. So in terms of the training sessions, he will see that this season, with not being in Europe, as a chance to really drive those things home.
You're going to get the counters out, Jamie.
Yeah,
see how
we
it
just want to look at and put the system out. We've done this a lot with Manchester United because, as I say, they're one of the biggest clubs in the world. We analysed them, we watched them so much. But we're going to look at the team that played at the weekend. And when I look at this team, I actually probably look at that and think, that is Manchester United's best team. I don't think there's anyone really missing who would maybe come into that. So, again, we go back to the first game, your experience with the manager. So, your experience plus your own idea on how this plays. What are the positives of this system under Rúben Amorim, and what are the negatives for you?
Well, I mentioned earlier about there's not too many moving parts, so you're quite set in your shape. So, in terms of when they're defending, they'll be defending in a low block. You'll have most teams end up with maybe 5 at the back along the edge of your box defending, because you might have runners. So you're
classing that as a negative in that that this system can push you back?
No, I'm saying that when you are under attack and you are on the edge of your box, more than likely you will be in a 5. So the team's almost set to how they would defend on the edge of the box. On the other side, when you attack, when you push the wing backs up, when you're attacking, you'll have 5 on their last line, almost without having to move too much. Do you
think that's what he likes about the system? Because you can get almost 5 attacking players, even plus Bruno, into it.
I don't know if that's personal, but I'm just saying that I don't know if that's what he likes. But for me, sort of watching and playing a little part in it, if I was playing in a 5, I would say that's probably the benefits of it. That you can have 5 on the last line and also defend with 5.
I think what you're talking about as well, we see a lot of teams get 5 on the last line. Everybody does, and that's the way, and it's just different systems can get you that. I think the problem with this system is that when you think about wing backs, and think about the weekend, Ahmad, he's been getting questioned, he got caught out at the back post. But as a wing back, he has to be a full back defensively. So Ahmad has to be here and defend crosses at the back post. He got done by Gibbs-White. But then when he gets up here, he's asked to be a winger. Now, he is more of a winger. He's probably more suited to that position. But then Dallow's the opposite, where he may be able to deal with that better. But when he gets on the last line and they actually get the ball to Dallow, he can't beat a man. He's not going to play a clever pass. He's not going to get a cross in. So for me, that's a little bit of the downfall in terms of getting 5 on the last line, is whether these players have the quality. When you think of the other teams in the league, they'll still get the same numbers. But if that's Manchester City, that's Doku with the ball. It might be Phil Foden. You know, it's a completely different profile.
Well, then it's about the personnel within the system. Then it's a bit like you were talking before from the Ipswich game with De Ligt. Does he really want to be receiving the ball with his back to play as a centre back from the goalkeeper? So it's about the personnel then in that system, and you could talk about Ahmad getting done at the back post, but you might be back in that position anyway as a winger, filling in if you were playing 4.
Johnny, could I ask you then, I'm just thinking about the fact that you've been as a young player coming through Manchester United, you know the traditions of the club as well as anybody. This system for me doesn't feel right for Manchester United, as in like the history of the club. I think of wingers, I'm talking about Dalot receiving the ball in this position. That's Ryan Giggs, that's going back even for that's George Best, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
How do you feel as a Manchester United man in terms of this system going forward for the club, and whether, you know, you think of the players you played alongside as well?
I think as long as it's working, I think, you know, certainly in terms of supporters, people involved with the club, people just want to see the club being successful, and if they feel that this can be the best way to do that, they will 100% get behind it, and you can see that with the fans, you get behind the manager.
I mean, Manchester United are probably on one of the best runs they've been on with Rúben Amorim. Right now, I think it's 4 unbeaten. But what would success look like for Rúben Amorim and Manchester United this season?
Definitely think qualifying for Europe, but I think they'll be pushing for a Champions League. I think now that you're sort of looking at it, I think they probably feel like you maybe get a little sniff of that.
Do you still feel it's going to take more transfer windows to get the pieces that Rúben Amorim really needs to make this work?
I'm sure he's looking at it going, we'll sign well in the summer. I hope the club back me again, whether that's January, whether they can do that or not. But going into the summer for the next season, he'll be looking at it.
Sorry, Johnny, how vital is Bruno to all this, do you think?
People are questioning why Bruno's playing in a deeper role, but he's kind of in those inside positions, probably doesn't suit. They're probably like inverted wingers, aren't they, playing in those sort of 10 positions? I think here gives him a little bit more. You miss his creativity, I suppose, towards the edge of the box, but the manager certainly gives him license that when the team get higher up, Casemiro in this team will sit and Bruno will be able to join the attack.
Bruno Fernandes plays there because he's probably the only central midfielder they've got. I know he's not a proper central midfielder, the only player who can get on the ball, get on the half-turn and feed these players between the lines. And that will take us to our next piece, Dave, after the break.
Ah, there is a theme. I like that. I like that. There is a link there. Yeah, we've got more analysis to come for you. We've got a live game from the Stadium of Light.
It's polarising, it's divisive, and it was at the forefront of Nottingham Forest's draw at home to Manchester United. Why? Because for the second week running, it couldn't intervene when a corner was, in Sean Dyche's view, incorrectly awarded against them. So we're asking you, do we need a change in the rules? Here's a reminder of what happened on Saturday.
Just can't understand it. You know, you're an assistant referee, you're 70 odd yards away, you've got a goal and a net in the way, but apparently you can see. I've got a better view and I'm not in the right position.
One of those went against Forest last week at Bournemouth, and they paid the price then, and they paid the price today.
Someone's got to be able to overrule these decisions just really quickly. That'll be 5 seconds. You just go, you know, that's in play. With all the technology and all that's at stake, particularly for us at Nottingham Forest Football Club after the start the club's had, that's a big moment, you know, and all of a sudden that goes against you, and that's very, very frustrating when it could be really easily cleared up for me.
Right, Tim, I'm sure you can understand his frustrations. Does he have a point?
I'll be making the same noises as Sean this morning. I don't want to see more interventions with VAR. I really don't. I want to see less. Yeah, listen, if they slowed that one down, they went to VAR, then they would have said the ball never went out. But it was more out than in from the naked eye, in my opinion. I think he's 100% right. The official was guessed from 70 yards away, which is impossible for him to really... We know he's guessed because he's got it wrong. And but for me, I want to see less interventions. I really do. I want to see the game speeded up a little bit.
Well, goal line technology is perfect, isn't it? Because it's instant.
Yeah.
So could it be extended for corners, which is what we're asking here?
Yeah.
But I know that you in the past have said, what about if it's all around
the pitch? Yeah.
If that's possible. We don't know how it would work with all the extra cameras and stuff. But if it was all around the pitch, every time the ball goes out, the referees watch buzzers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always going to work.
Yeah.
Is that feasible to do that? Would you like to see that?
Oh, no.
Because that's instant.
All down to money, isn't it? If we've got enough money.
Because we don't know how much it would cost.
To be able to do that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it is a very expensive league. And like Sean said, if that's a decision what could take his team down, it costs them a lot of money to get relegated to the Championship. No one wants that. So